So back again, this episode 11 now, Casual Blading Bevvie. Today we've got Mr. Sam Croft joining us. Thanks for joining.
No worries, lads.
Lovely to have you on, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in the UK that are interested to see what you've been getting on with during lockdown and how you've been coping. So kick us off, man. How did you get into skating? Start at the beginning.
How did I get into skating? Sorry, I turned my phone off.
It's all good.
I don't know what his mind's going through. If not, I was surprised I had a message.
So I got into skating when I was about 5-6 years old. So I'm sure you remember the movie The Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Sure you've seen that, right? So the year that movie came out, well, I don't think it was the year that came out, but the year me and my brothers all watched that movie. That year for Christmas, we all got hockey sticks and skates for Christmas. That's what we wanted. So I'm one of 4 brothers. All grew up skating together. We all skated together from I was 5, Josh was he would have been 4, older brother than a couple of years older than me then, and my other youngest brother was much younger than us still. He joined a little bit later, and we just sort of grew up. Just we lived on quite a big council estate, so it's kind of easy to get around, just skating from spot to spot and just going to your mate's house and that. Playing hockey outside the house, just using jumpers for goalposts and that sort of thing.
Yep.
And then, of course, that kind of just grew thin. I mean, we didn't actually play for a proper team. We just played with each other.
Yeah.
So I did that for a few years. And then we just started just messing around our skates, building little ramps and that, building a little grind bar, jumping downstairs, skitching on the milk float, just being a little shit around the estate and just messing about. And then in my hometown, they built a skate park in, I can't remember, it was 2000, I guess, or 2001 maybe.
Okay. They
built a skate park in my town, and also Unity Mag was pretty big about this time. I remember going to my little corner shop back in Chichester, where I'm from,
right?
And buying Unity Mag and reading that, and sort of discovering more about grinds and that, and discovering more about the industry as a whole and the culture behind it. And then just went from there. I've just been skating ever since.
So I mean, obviously you said there about the Unity Mag and stuff. Was that kind of the first exposure you had to any what you class as aggressive skating, or watching videos and stuff before that? Or?
Yes, so that was my first real exposure to it. I think I just saw it at the skate park and stuff, just seeing it because I mean this was late 90s, early 2000s. Blading was fucking huge. It was everyone at my school had blades, and everyone you pop down the skate park, you see people skating around town. So I think it's just kind of easy to be exposed to it in this era.
Yeah.
And so reading Unity, I guess, was an early exposure to it. And unfortunately, in my home city, Chichester, ESP skate shop is there, run by Jamie Stenner, if you know him.
Yeah, he's still got that skate shop, hasn't he? Isn't that still...
sorry?
I'm sure that skate shop is still running, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, he's still running, yeah. He's still going. So that was fortunate. We had that in our hometown. So, there already was a rollerblade skate scene in Chichester. And then, of course, there was Worthing just down the road, which was OCC crew, Jake Healy, Rob Glanville, the Woodbridge brothers, people like this. Those guys were forever popping in and out of Chai, so I'd see them occasionally. Brighton was always a big scene. Well, not big, but biggish, same part of OCC. Then, of course, Portsmouth too. Got the likes of Danny Aldridge was from Bognor, but he skated down Portsmouth a lot.
Right.
Keith Wisdom, Adam Davison, guys like this. Sam Tufnell, of course. So there was always South Coast always had plenty of people to... naturally, the scene just developed, and it was just easy to get exposed in it. And obviously, growing up as a kid, I was living in Chichester. My dad would like to go down to Pompey sometimes, drive us down there, drop us off at the skate park, go for a walk, leave me and my brothers at the skate park, and come pick us up a few hours later.
So it sounds like it was obviously quite a strong scene there. Did you do much travelling about outside of sort of the southwest, or was it just quite central to that pocket?
It's basically south central, really. It's not really southeast or west. It's literally kind of dead in the middle. I used to come up to London to go street skating a lot. I remember all the guys as well would also come up to PlayStation a lot. So I was friends with mostly a lot of skateboarders back then too, at my school, that is. So I went to a different school to all the guys that I rollerbladed with. Most of the guys in my school were skateboarders, and they'd when we'd have an inset day or whatever, they were a little bit older than me, but I'd just sort of just tag along with anyway. And we'd take a train up to London, go skate PlayStation, and then probably go to Meanwhile Gardens afterwards, and maybe go South Bank on the way home. Did that quite a lot. Just traveling up to London, Brighton, Worthing, Portsmouth.
So I
I
imagine.
I remember going down to the front skate park in Weymouth also a lot when I was younger.
Is that where they used to hold the British Championship?
Don't think so. No. They used to host the it's just called the Front Jam. I don't think I had a real proper name. It's where you know, the DRC guys.
Yeah.
Like Scott, Harry, them boys. They all used to skate down there as well. So they were from Weymouth. Yeah, my dad used to like going down there just 'cause it's a nice beach. So he was just happy to. And my dad's always been really into his cars. He's really into, like, you know, tuning cars, Japanese imports, that sort of thing. So any excuse to drive his car 150 miles, 100 miles, he'll happily take that. I remember I'd come up to Rampworks to Slam Jam when I was like, you know, like 12, 13 years old. And my dad loved it. He's like, yeah, of course, I'll drive to Liverpool. Why not? Sick. Got a Honda Aprilia. It'd be fucking great. Drive both ways. Drive the Skyline. Whatever.
That's absolutely like, you don't get that, like, with a lot of skaters, especially, you know, it's a lot of mums and dads were just like, nah, just sort yourselves, like, take a train or something.
My dad was always pretty encouraging of my skating. Always liked it. It was, I mean, I guess he's just happy that your kid's doing something rather than like pissing around. So he encouraged it a bit, and of course it kind of ties in with his hobby of his car. So it worked pretty easily.
Does the family still skate? The brothers?
No, not for years now. No. Although saying that, my little brother actually, it was a while ago now. It was when I was at uni. It was almost 10 years ago now. He basically had been on a night out, jumped in the car with my dad. My dad was coming up to visit me on a Sunday. He had basically been out most of the night. Realised my dad was coming up to London to see me. Jumped in the car, put on a pair of my skates, and just top-sold the ledge first go. I hadn't skated in years. And other brother, when I was living out in Barcelona, he popped out to visit me. I had some the Aeon 72. I had one of the first samples of that. And I remember he just literally put that on, top-sold the ledge first go. So they still can skate. They just, just discovered girls and booze. And
you've got a nice little collection behind you. I imagine your collection is getting a bit out of hand though.
I mean, mostly, there's because I do a lot of big wheeling and small wheeling too. So there's, like, you know, different segments of skating behind me. So I've got like, my regular aggressive skate that I use most of the time. It's my skate. And, you know, some big wheel skates. I mean, I've been using these a lot, really, to be honest, mostly during lockdown.
They are tractor tyres, them.
Oh, yeah, mate, they'll fly. They fucking fly. I mean, during the lockdown, I wasn't really skating much, to be honest. Just because, I mean, I don't know, there was the whole, like, I'm sure you witnessed the fucking stigma online of should we skate, shouldn't we skate?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And also, I mean, like, I enjoy doing just regular chill skating.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, a lot of skating I do is pretty dangerous, so I don't really want to, like, risk an injury or run an injury, or, you know what I mean? Like, there's no point in, NHS is already in enough strain, so I figured, like, there wasn't really much point in doing it. I mean, I was still going to skate like a little local P-rail or a local ledge or something by myself, but mostly I was just doing fitness skating. Like, I think it's kind of good every now and then to, take a couple of months out and actually let yourself fully recuperate, because lockdown came shortly after Winter Clash, and in the Hang Losers Bowl comp this year, I actually ended up injuring myself pretty badly. I was coming up to the I don't know if you know the bowl well, but there was a rail out of the bowl.
Yeah.
I was launching out of the bowl, trying to spin onto the rail and spin off it, whatever. And I just got my feet all tangled up, flipped off the rail, and just landed flat on my back on a bit of 2x4.
Yeah, I was pretty much stood by the side of it and watched you back on that piece of wood.
Yeah, so like the Hang Losers guys were using this bit of 2x4 with like a sign, and like you had to launch up, and if you had that high, you got a beer or whatever.
Yeah.
And then once they stopped doing that, they just sort of like just left the bit of wood on the floor, and I fucking fell right on my back, and it really just. Oh, it hurt, man. It put me out for the rest of the weekend, and then at least for the next few weeks afterwards, I could skate, but it's just like, you know, when it's like, you know, you're like, I could skate, but what's the point? I'm going to end up just causing this injury to go further.
Yeah.
So I just didn't skate for like about 3 weeks after Winter Clash, and then just sort of tiptoeing back into it, but then lockdown started. So, you know, my body was kind of looking for an extended bit of time out. So I mostly just done a lot of fitness skating during lockdown. I live in East London, right next to Hackney Wick, and it's like a big it's like an industrial estate basically, and so I can go and skate around that, and like, no, I'm not going to bump into anybody, and like, you know, socially distance or whatever, and just keep my fitness up. Just do maybe like at least sort of 15, 20 miles a day on my skates, just for fitness, because I like doing it a lot. Just put some tunes, go for a long skate. Also, it kind of breaks up the day a little bit, because I work for Power Slide from home, so I spend most of the day on my computer. So, you know, it's nice to get up, stretch about and, break up the day with a bit of exercise.
So that kind of brings me on to a point. So you work for Powerslide. You're obviously pro for the USD team, undercover and all that as well. So trying to word it the best way possible. Are you seen as more of just a staff member or a team rider, or just a combination of both?
A combination of both. So I've been riding for Powerslide. Well, I started riding for USD in 2013, and I made it quite clear So I always basically since leaving university, I hadn't really done fuck all besides skate, and my CV was starting to look pretty slim, and I was deciding am I going to really keep going with skating all the time, or am I going to I need to have a plan B basically. So I remember emailing them and saying could I get a job with them. I sent my CV over and explained these are my qualifications, blah blah blah. If a position comes up, let us know. And it did come up, and they offered me the role as UK sales agent, which I've taken on. I've been doing that for almost 2 years now. But I made it very clear from the start that my two jobs are entirely separate with you. So I have I deal with different accountants, have different things for when I'm invoicing for athlete stuff, when I'm invoicing for commission stuff. I've made it very clear from the start this is entirely separate, just because I didn't want one to collide with the other for whatever reason, or one to get on top of the other, just to make it simpler.
Yeah,
so essentially I'm viewed as both at work. Just depends on talking to that day. There's different departments.
Side of it, Sam. Are they? So obviously, Roche we're supposed to give their team riders a cut of the percentages when it comes to the sales of their skates.
Right. Yeah.
Powerslide and all that, providing that for you.
What you mean royalties on skates?
Yeah.
Yeah, we get royalties on skates. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not they're not great numbers.
I don't expect them to be high numbers. I just know with the current situation with Joe and him fighting to get his money pretty much. Yeah. I just didn't know.
Right. I mean, I kind of briefly read that on the internet. I mean, I did see it going around, a lot of hoo-ha about that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how it works over at Rosa's. Powerslide, you get your royalties every quarter. So depending on how many units have sold in the last 3 months, they then tally that up and you invoice accordingly. Same for your monthly stuff, your monthly athlete incentives. It's all the same. It just happens every month. Every month you invoice for what you've done, and then every quarter you invoice for your royalties. So it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I've got the accountant's email. I just drop them an email, say this is what I've done. The people that are in the warehouse and distribution confirm the numbers you've given them, and then it's in your account 2 days later. Nice. Same as any other job. It's pretty straightforward.
So I mean, obviously the aggressive side of it's taken a backseat with lockdown, like you were saying. You've been getting out more power blading and big wheels.
Well, I mean, it was during the stricter part of the stricter part of the fucking lockdown, the bit when we were meant to not go out.
Yeah.
But yeah, now, so the last 4 weeks, I've been back out skating aggressively again, working on a new project. Just I filmed with Johnny Lee. So working on a new deal with him. About 4 weeks into it.
Is this a new promo, or is this just general content for?
Well, yeah, I don't want to divulge too much information, but yeah, I'm working on a new product promo with Johnny. Cool. Going to be ready sometime later this summer, I guess. I mean, it's already gone well because, I mean, with the lockdown, we're both working still, but where we both have pretty flexible schedules, we can sort of, we can work around other commitments, basically. I mean, fortunately, I do work from home for Powerslide. I'm Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, I'm on my computer, ready to do their work for them.
Yeah.
But say if something comes in, say Johnny's free for 2 hours on a Wednesday afternoon, I'll take 2 hours, go and get a clip, and I can come back, and anything I missed, I can catch up after hours or whatever. So it gives you a degree of flexibility to be able to manage that shit a bit easier.
That's cool. And we've spoke on this podcast before about the kind of the rise, if you will, of skate sales during lockdown. As people have been getting more into the urban skating and getting out on the streets as a way of fitness, with the 1 hour, if you will, exercise limit. Has that increased what you have to do for is that made you?
Oh yeah, sure. My workload's definitely increased during lockdown.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just kind of more admin, pretty much. Just more liaison with skate shops, orders getting larger, people demanding a little bit more. It's it's fine. I mean, the workload's increased, but it's not like, I mean, I work pretty shitty jobs most of my life. This is a pretty chill. I actually have like an active interest in an invested interest in what I'm doing with this. So, I don't mind the extra workload. It's fine. I kind of enjoy it, to be honest.
Did you not find when you finished at winter class and you come home, obviously with all this coronavirus and the rest of it, do you not feel like you kind of may have had that when you come home? See, I was ill for 2 solid weeks, I'd say, when I came home.
Could have just been a hangover. I was pretty pissed off.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking the same thing.
After I did my back, basically all I had was paracetamol and beer.
Yeah.
Luckily, Diago was pretty safe, gave me a load of beer tokens despite not winning. He was like, safe, just gave me a handful of them, and that kept me going for a few days. So it was fine.
That's what I was thinking myself. I was thinking, 4 days of just being absolutely steaming.
Yeah,
I mean, you're drinking beer and standing on your feet in a dusty warehouse surrounded by people, like, it's not the most healthy environment, is it? I know we're doing
that's true.
As such, but it's probably a bit of smoke and weed going on as well. So you'll be feeling freshest by the end of it. It is Holland.
So
one time a year, you're okay to do it.
So now the now the lockdown's easing, and other countries are kind of opening borders and travel plans are starting to emerge. Have you got any plans to get back over maybe to Barca or any other destinations?
I would love to get back to Barca, actually. I was chatting to Nick earlier, he was texting me, and he's going back to Barca next week. So I was pretty jealous of that. But no, I kind of just put travelling to one side for the next couple of months just because, it's just unreliable. You just didn't know. I'm not going to commit to buying a flight or bother buying travel insurance or whatever to make sure my flight makes it.
Yeah.
But no, you really got nothing planned, to be honest. I mean, me and the guys in London were talking about just doing UK trips, going doing a skate park tour or just going up north and camping or going to Scotland maybe. It's probably the most realistic plan for this summer.
Yeah, I think.
Or maybe going down to the West Country, Devon, Dorset, wherever. They've probably got some good spots. Bristol also. So, I mean, this is the thing as well. I've probably spent the last few years focusing on doing little European trips and, going out to the States the last couple of years. It's you kind of forgot to do the UK. We did it a bit when we were younger, but now that you got older and just European flights are cheap or whatever, and more people on the continent, it's a bit easier.
Absolutely.
So I think it'd be good to enjoy the UK a bit this year.
Yeah, no,
my girlfriend's French, so we'll be going out to visit her parents at some point. So could maybe hook up with some of the French guys there, get in touch with the Leroux guys in Paris, and maybe go there. That'd be cool. Or go to Bordeaux, one of those sort of cities.
I imagine the spots in Barca in Spain are a lot cleaner than the UK spots.
Well, cleaner in the sense the run-up's smooth. It's still pretty dusty and dirty. It's Spain, isn't it? So, when you fall over, you get covered in gunk, just the same as the rest of the world. Yeah, they're definitely... Have you skated Barcelona, you guys?
What was that, mate? Sorry?
Have you guys skated Barcelona?
You are.
Yeah, I've been a couple of times. Yeah. It's one of them. I see where you're coming from. It is dusty. It's a lot drier.
They got to wash the streets every night because it gets so dusty.
Yeah. Wow. But I get what you're saying as well. Though, you watch the the bank stuff, the London edits, and the stuff in Manchester and that as well. And you do get a little bit of a grimy feel to the UK street scene.
Sure. I mean, it's kind of what we're known for. It's how how the likes of Ollie Short got so good because all of his spots he's skating are just rugged. They're just super.
Yeah, I lived in London for 2 years, and when I went to street skating a lot with Ross Martin.
I know Ross. Yeah, it's good, mate.
Matt Collins, all them guys, and it was just every street spot we went to, it was a lovely little ledge or rail, but the landing
just
and
something nasty.
This is kind of what separates UK skating from the rest of the world. It's kind of it's a quintessential part of our skating. It's a rugged spot, and it's kind of people know this. I mean, I've had various guys from other parts of the world come to London and ask to get shown around spots. You take them to spots, and you're oh fuck.
Yeah,
I was going to be all right. This spot, it looks fine on TV, but no, in reality, it's got a 90-degree run up, and it's basically made of sandpaper, and it's not some perfect Cali handrail. That's what I'm saying.
No, absolutely not.
So, what are your the plans for the future then? So, are you planning to stay with Powerslide as long as you can?
Yeah, I've got no plans to leave. I mean, I'm very happy with my job and with my sponsorship and stuff. So I guess I'll be here for as long as I can ride it out, really. Just try and stay on top of my sort of fitness and stuff and still be able to skate on a regular basis. I mean, I think combining, considering I do like a bit of big wheeling and fitness skating as well, I think hopefully in the long run should be able to stay healthy and stay active and stay involved in the skating.
The question I've got for you, obviously from my knowledge from speaking to other people, USD own the blueprints, I think it is, in the mold for Solomon boots, don't they?
I don't know if they own the blueprints. I know they tried to buy them a few years ago,
Yeah.
but as far as I'm aware, I don't know if this is true. This is just what I heard. I think the molds were actually destroyed because they were considered I don't know what the term is. They were considered to be something of like, property value, and so they had to pay tax on them. So rather than pay tax on them every year, they just destroyed them.
Right.
That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true. I mean, that's just like, again, just internet hearsay from some bloke that apparently knows blah blah. Like, as far as I'm aware, they're not out there. I mean, I know Powerslide managed to buy the FSK mold a couple of years ago for one of the Solomon FSK molds, but the actual the mold you'll want to see, basically, I don't think that's available or coming back out, to be honest.
The Aeon shell is pretty similar, I'd say, to a Solomon shell.
It's definitely taken some inspiration from it. I mean, it's kind of a weird mishmash of I don't know, it's like a bit Solomon, bit Throne. You can also see a bit of an M12 in there, almost a bit of a cult too. It's like, just trying to be that, that classic hard boot skate. Whilst
Do you think they'll ever bring out a UFS version of it?
No, it defeats the whole concept of an Aeon.
Yeah. I mean, you obviously skate the Aeon boot. Your pro boot is an Aeon. Is there any plans to skate anything else, or do you just skate a bit of everything depending on how you're feeling at the time? Because I know, from speaking to Matty Vella the other day, he was out on his Aeon 72, but then he was doing stuff with the farmers
the other day too. So he's skating sways now. Not really, no. I mean, I do skate a few of the other skates every now and then when I've got to do promos for them, which I don't mind doing. I do enjoy, having a pretty varied diet of skating, using different boots all the time. But no, I think my bread and butter is still going to be an Aeon, just because it's got that super low center of gravity, and also just that kind of responsiveness where it's like, I don't know, this might be the most hippie thing I sound all night, but when you do a grind, you can really fucking feel the grind. If you know what I mean? No. There's basically between your foot and the sole plate, whatever. Always Aeon. My foot's here, the grind is there.
Yeah.
Whereas when I skate a UFS skate, it feels like there's that much between me and what I'm grinding on, so it feels a bit almost like that feels like an extension of my foot.
Yeah.
A UFS skate doesn't, basically, in a nutshell.
I'll
probably stay running with it, and also it's probably the best flat setup you can skate. And going back to English spots being a bit grimy, there's no way I'm skating anti-rocker and skating street in London. It's just
you skate Aeons.
Yeah, I skate Aeons, and I did used to skate anti-rocker, but then it kind of come to me where it was just like I could actually enjoy the fun of having a flat setup and still not have that worry of being able to grind on the H block, because the H block is I
find you can be fairly confident in it. I don't I've managed to do some tricks in it which I wouldn't have assumed I could do in a flat setup. I remember skating, there's a down ledge in Petticoat Lane which I back fast slid a couple of years ago in flat setup, and it's a down ledge. Generally you should have stuck really, but the shape of the frame really lends itself to it. I mean, I don't think I could do that flat setup and say, a feather-like frame or something like that, or a fluid frame or some sort of just any other UFS frame on the market. Also, if you're not sure about skating them flat with regular wheels, get some of them super bullet profile wheels. You got loads of space for them. They give you a little bit of extra space inside there.
I find the frames on the Aeons to be exactly like Slimlines.
They feel pretty similar. I used to skate Slimlines flat a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and that was the reason why I was like, do you know what? I'm not too worried about skating these flat, because Slimlines was so big.
I think the only real issue with an Aeon is obviously where it's all one piece. It means the frame's got to be the same material as the shell, which means it's got to be a little bit softer than what a fluid would be, for example. So they can feel a little bit slow on certain things. But, generally speaking, it's not an issue for me because I like skating kind of steep-ish rails. And if your frame's a little bit slower, it's actually kind of helpful. Yeah. And the rest of the time, I'll just skate quicker at it. So It's fine.
Yeah, I found, and I think you found as well with the Aeon boot, is the sole plates seem to go a little bit slower after.
Yeah, I mean
use.
that kind of makes sense what Sam's saying there about the material being a bit softer.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, if you think it's all one bit, right?
Yeah.
So that material's got to be just as hard as that bit there, or that's got to be just as soft as that bit there.
Yeah.
If you had a shell made out of material that was as hard as a ground control frame or a fluid frame, whatever, it'd be too stiff. It'd hurt your foot. It wouldn't be very comfortable. Hence why, like, a cuff material's softer than a shell material. It's just, it's just part of the anatomy of a skate. It's just how it works. And if you're going to take away the UFS concept, then it's just one of the disadvantages you're going to get with that.
Yeah. So I mean, going back to the UFS side of it, obviously Kaiser brought out the Element 2 late last year.
Yeah, it was early last year actually. It was I got the samples in I shot the promo in January, so I'm guessing November I got the samples. Yeah, very start of last year we announced it basically.
Cool. And do you not? Well, obviously you don't prefer it because you skate the Aeon boot, but I mean,
I'm really in two minds about this actually. I was thinking about this not too long ago. So I do like the Element frame, but again, it's got to be on a UFS skate. Yeah. So I always wondered, how does, with regards to energy transfer. So with a one-piece boot, you can really as you pump on a ramp or as you push when you stride, you can feel the energy going through it a lot easier and transferring your energy, so they feel faster.
Yeah.
But when you skate a metal frame, obviously the energy transfer is better because it's much stiffer than a plastic frame. So is a UFS metal skate faster than a full plastic one-piece skate? I don't know. They both feel really good. Yeah. But again, I always find myself skating the Aeon again because the shape of the foot, it's not the shape of the foot, so the shape of the shell really works with my foot. So, obviously certain shell sizes and that, it just works well with my foot shape.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so
I find if I'm getting a sway, I have to downsize into a shell.
Yeah.
With a second skin line out, or I've got to size up, which obviously that's not an option really. So I'd rather have a skate that just fits my foot really comfortably.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember. I was the guy that you messaged about the Aeons. I'd cut the frame off, and I'd put Element 2 frames on them.
Yeah, how did it work out for you?
They were good. They were good. It was a good skate. It was a good setup. If it was solid, it'd be perfect. But obviously, once you take that frame off, on the bottom of the Aeons, there's quite a few holes.
The wheel wells.
Yeah, with the wheel wells. I found obviously with that being so many holes in it already.
You're going to weaken the structure of the skate, right? So
I had to put a razor, a frame. What do you call them? The flat bit of the metal. So pretty much the female part of a razor frame bolt inside of the skate, but it just kept coming loose. If that hadn't happened, if it hadn't kept coming loose and the frame obviously kept moving, they probably would have been an absolute sick setup.
I mean, I'd love to be able to skate something like that. A metal framed Aeon would be really ideal for me because I do skate street predominantly, but I do like skating bowls also, and I do like going to not necessarily skate parks as such. I find when I go to a skate park, I just find myself skating the bowl the whole time. I've never really been much of an aerial skater. I used to skate jump box a bit when I was younger, but not much, to be honest. Mostly just skated the bowl. So I would like some sort of, metal hybrid Aeon. Maybe it's a metal H block one day. I mean, maybe that could be a product idea.
Yeah.
But again,
I see you kill the bowl at Bevvie quite often.
Yeah, I like that bowl. It's one of my local bowls I go to a lot. We've got a nice bowl over here in East London, in Victoria Park. The Ben Ramos bowl.
I've skated it with the big...
it's got a cradle.
Yeah, the big cradle, yeah. Yeah, that's a massive bowl. It doesn't look that big, the deep end, but that deep end is...
Yeah, when you get in there, it's really real. It hurts when you fall down that bowl.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever been...
No, I stay away from bowl at the best of times.
I think there's a few videos that Joe's put out in there as well.
Yeah, Joe's done some mental shit down there. What's it called? State of the Art. He's got clips in it in State of the Art, and the Fox mask. They've got the smoke grenade in the cradle.
It goes in rocks it fakey. And
but just obviously if you're facing not just the left hand side, there's pretty much a half pipe, but with another attachment and curve in it. But the bowl in every video that goes up, it doesn't actually look that big, but it's terrifying, mate. Like, it's huge.
Yeah, I mean, the way Joe skates it, he makes it look very easy. It's
Yeah.
not an easy bowl. Like, there's certain lines in it that are pretty easy, but it's just a big gnarly bowl, which, you know, you'd imagine there should be some sort of medical staff there to like take care of it. You know, I mean, like, I don't know if you've ever skated South Sea bowls in Portsmouth. Like, it's not quite as gnarly as that because it's smoother material, but it's that sort of size bowl. It's like, you know, if you're going down it, you're going to get hurt, and ambulances can't pull up outside that skate park because it's in the middle of a park. So
I think the last time I sessioned it, I was with Jake Ricketts, and he was doing like 6 foot airs, which doesn't seem that high, but out of that quarter,
no, 6 foot's a pretty reasonable height to air.
Yeah, well, out of that quarter especially.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was terrifying to watch, and it's just I would not want to kill myself on that thing at all.
So, I mean, going back to the USD, the work side of it, I mean, do you just plan to work for USD as long as possible, or power slide as long as possible? Just keep going with it, and
yeah, why not? I mean, I'm happy doing it. Like, first job I've had in my life that I liked, so I may as well keep doing it. No, I mean, I tried some other careers and stuff. I worked as a teacher when I was in Barcelona, because I've got a degree in English literature and assumed that I'd sort of naturally go into teaching after that. Did teaching for a little bit, but it's just fucking hard work. Like, kids are cunts. Sorry. They're little kids. And like, you go into work not really feeling it, and like, you know, especially maybe it was just a school I was working in. Like, sometimes if you got like a willing pupil that wants to learn, it's fine. You know, it's actually quite a rewarding job. But I mean, most of it, I was teaching English language to Spanish kids that were there doing like, you know, it's like a vocational class, whatever. Like, his parents are sending him there after school. Like, that random little Spanish nipper does not want to be there. Much rather
he's not feeling it at all.
Football or like on the beach or just doing whatever. Like, so he's just going to be a little shit. And when you got 30 of them in front of you, wears you down. You can pretend you're liking it for as long as you want, but after a year, you got to stop kidding yourself and you just like got to get out.
That makes sense.
And yeah, I worked a few other like office jobs and that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, if you break down my job to what I'm actually doing, like if I was, you know, being a sales agent, you're just selling stuff, you're liaising between a client and a producer or whatever. If I was doing this with like something boring, like Tupperware or something, like, you know, I don't want to be ringing up some shop saying, hey, do you like lunch boxes? It's going to be really boring. Whereas instead I ring up Jake Healy and say, do you like Aeons? Does Loco want more Aeons? So it's a bit more, you know, it's, in a nutshell, it could be kind of considered a boring job, but I'm dealing with products that I actively use on a regular basis and enjoy using. So
yeah, it kind of sounds like you're falling on your feet because it kind of ties everything nicely together. You've got your athlete side, you're still allowed to go out and skate and promote skates and do something you're really passionate about, but at the same time, the business side of it, if you will, the laptop side of it, you're doing stuff that you also like. You know, you're talking about products that you'll use and you like sell. So yeah, I mean, it seems to tie quite good.
Well, the other part of it, I think I
definitely enjoy it,
is the sitting there and kind of seeing your own pro skate sell. Like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's
a nice feeling.
I must admit that was weird. Generally, when you're selling a product, it's like, you know, you're selling Nick's new Aeon or some other USD Pro's new Aeon or latest skate or whatever. But when you got to ring up skate shops and say, "Oh, you're right, this is my pro skate. Do you want to buy this one?"
Yeah, you're not pushing it like, "Oh, I think you need more of these." Like,
you tend to, but you got to remain impartial. You know what I mean? You don't want to like, you know, you're not biased as such. You got to like, you know, sell everything equally. Unfortunately, I picked a safe color for my skate, so I knew it was going to sell. It wasn't like I didn't really. Well, actually, almost. It did almost end up being a different color, actually.
I was going to say, did you have a lot of design input into it in terms of the colorways and stuff, or was it kind of?
You got total creative freedom. Like, you get to pick the liner, the color. I mean, with an Aeon, you're basically just picking a color. Yeah, so I had a couple of color ideas in mind. Originally, I wanted a blue one, which I thought would be cool. However, Joe just had his blue Roses, right? It's about the same sort of time. His was the end of 2018 or so. Mine was coming out 2019. Sorry, excuse me. So in the process of designing it, I was like, oh, I originally wanted blue, but I was like, you know, Joe's just done blue. I feel as though I've got to wait like 3 years for that to blow over. Yeah. So I tried picking another color. I tried going for like a sort of off-white cream color, which it looked good in the pictures on the computer, but then when they sent it to me, I've got it over here. One sec.
Oh, cool.
When I got it,
I actually really like that.
See, that reminds me of the old Jeff Frederick, like the
right, that's what it was loosely
Thrawn, yeah, classic Thrawn.
I was basing it loosely upon a Jeff Fredericks and just something similar to that, like that sort of old, using the old USD logo. I was going for that sort of old early 2000s, late 90s classic throne.
I like that, man. I think that's a really pretty skate.
It's grown on me. Now that I've had this sample for like a year, it's finally grown on me, and I do actually quite like it. Still prefer the blue, but I'm sure you can imagine the weird sort of juxtaposition of emotions when I sort of saw this and didn't like it. Okay, so they showed me this at Winter Clash in 2000 and I think it was 2019. Yeah, my skate came out last October, so this was February last year. Winter Clash before last.
Yeah. And
so I won the Hang Losers Bowl contest on the Thursday night. So I had quite a few beers that night, and then got an email from them saying, "Oh yeah, we've got your skate sample with us at Winter Clash. You can come get it and have a look at it if you want." So going down there, I'm like obviously buzzing, going to go see my pro skate for the first time. Get taken out to the Power Slide van. They're in the van. I go, "Here you go, this is your skate." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck." I obviously just politely went, "Yes, it's nice, isn't it?" Yeah. Took it away with me and looked at it for a bit longer. I was like, "Oh, it's fucking horrible, isn't it?"
It looks fucking dead good.
Yeah, it does.
Nice. Like it took me a while to come around to it. By the time, I thought it was going to be like a really light sort of, ivory, eggshell, whatever that colour is. That really like cool off-white bone, I think it might be called. And this just kind of reminded me of, I don't know if you remember, there was that Latimer puke-coloured Cyrus in like 2000 and
yeah. Like a weird browny green.
Yeah, it just reminded me of that. And I was like, shit, I've got a puke-coloured pro skate. So,
what size are they, Sam?
They're my size, actually, yeah. They're the 7/8 shell.
What's that? 7/8 shell?
7/8 shell, yeah. So, I'm never skating them. They're just going to sit on my shelf forever. They're just going to
You should definitely put them up for a one-off auction, mate. I reckon they'd go then.
You don't even like them. No way. But yeah, I've actually come around to it now. I do quite like them. And maybe if we had gone with that colour, it would have been okay. Also, one other thing though, I don't suppose you remember, same year, Kirill had
the shifts.
But weirdly, I didn't like them, and it wasn't because it was a shift. I didn't actually generally like the fact.
The problem also, they debuted his skate at Winter Clash, and I had sample mine at Winter Clash, not due for release for 6 months. So, you're going to come in second very badly because it's so close. So I figured, right, we're going back to plan A, which is going to be the blue skate, because that's going to be 6 months' time, hopefully. I thought it was safer than going for the cream one. But, it's grown up on me. I do like it. But,
the difference with them, though, is that they are actually the same tone all over. The shifts, sole plate.
The cuff looks a different
shade,
like a darker.
Also the sole plate. I think it's obviously the plastic material. But
that's literally it. It can be, because my blue skate, it took a minute to get the cuff and color combination correct because it's obviously a different density of plastic that goes in there, so it's harder to work out the pigment that goes into it.
I think you should have a reconsider on that skate being released, mate.
I'll say stick it back in.
That'll have to be number 2.
Well, now when this goes out and people can actually, if they sit there through the amount of talking and they see that skate, they might be like, right,
hit it up in the comments.
Yeah. Literally get everyone on it.
In the comments, who says it should have been produced and who said we should have gone with the blue one? Did I make the right decision?
All for it. So, obviously, it's not the only product you've had. You've had big wheels as well, which is, quite different for a,
yeah,
generally an aggressive skater.
Yeah, I must admit, that was, caught me off guard that my first pro product was going to be a 110 wheel. I'm used to it now because it's been a little while that I've had that wheel for.
Yeah, that was because you like you say you big wheel quite a bit anyway. I see you sketching buses and stuff, so it's not like you're not going to use it. It's
I use it all the time. I probably use it more than my aggressive skates. Pop in the shops on them every day. So
skating the Queen's Fountain.
That was fucking sick, by the way. I enjoyed that clip the other day.
That was fucking once in a lifetime. I don't know if I'm ever going to get a chance to we actually, funnily, so we we skated at FSK I had big wheels on, a couple of the other lads had different setups on. And that was fine. We could just jump in and out and get a quick line on it, and it wasn't really too big a deal. We went back a few days later with ag skates to get some clips on it. And skating it then, there was a few more police around, and the police actually did turn up and came over to us. And like, at this point, I'm just sort of like thinking, shit, man, this is like a national monument.
Yeah.
Like, it's part of the Queen's. Sorry, my cat's jumping up behind me. It's part of the Queen's property. Like, am I going to get done for like, what's that word we go against the crown?
Treason.
Exactly. Is this fucking treason?
Yeah.
So, what's the crime for like? Yeah, because by the time we'd done skating, we've been doing grinds on it, and it was just like just wax marks, black marks on it. Like, I'm just like, if this this policeman was there, and Leon Humphreys was with me, and actually got a little bit fresh with the copper because he was just being sarcastic. And the policeman was actually walking towards us. And at this point, I was like, "Fuck, Leon! Like, stop getting this guy's attention because if he comes near and sees these black marks all over, I don't know what we're gonna get. We're definitely getting nicked for criminal damage. Like, I don't want to get in trouble for this." Like, it was pretty. He's just one of those he's one of those coppers that's just out to try and prove something or whatever. Yeah. Realised he couldn't arrest Leon for being sarcastic and just sort of let us go on our way. But at the time, I was like, "Fuck, man, I don't want to get nicked for this. It's gonna be the worst thing ever."
It was a cool clip though, man. I've got to admit, I seen it on Instagram. I was both. The skating was good, but it was just where it was. Like, it just made me laugh.
Literally, I didn't realise it was going to be quite such a good transition. Like, I've been past it loads of times, and it's just like, it's a fountain normally. It's full of water. So where it's completely drained, like the sides are literally just like, they're not really perfect transitions. They're like it's like that, and then just like mostly vert. But with larger wheels in particular, you can pump up it much easier. That's why jokes when you're rolling through it, there's like pennies all over the floor because people throw pennies. So as you're rolling through it, like pennies like ding, 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 like pinging all over the place as you're doing it. Yeah, it's a great spot. I mean, I'd love to go and skate that more, but the problem is it's such a central part of London. A police car will drive past every every couple of minutes or so. Yeah. So
with tourists
looking out for police, and as soon as the police come, you just got to duck, so you're underneath the height of the bowl. Wait for them to start again. Yeah, me and Johnny Lee were in there, and it was just like back and forth, just jumping in, jumping out, hiding. It's fun.
I imagine John Lee's got some really nice clips of that. He does quite a lot of VHS type of raw filming, doesn't he?
Johnny's a great videographer, really, really talented guy. He's one of those guys when you film with, you can just be confident with. There's certain videographers when you're working with them, you're like, you're a bit uncertain. Are you going to get this right? Are you going to miss this? Especially if you're going to do a dangerous trick or whatever that you don't want to do it. Like if you're going to do a gap or something or a drop rail, you want to make sure that you got to trust your videographer because if he
absolutely,
you're going to go do something dangerous again, which potentially running an accident or running an injury. But likes of Johnny, Tom Sharman, Leon, Don West, all these guys. These are you trust them when you film with them. You don't need to think that is he ready. As long as he sticks his thumbs up and says go, just go. And just know that it's going to be. Just make sure they're done.
Yeah. Just going back to Don West, the stuff he's put out recently has been absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Oh, mate, it's been amazing for years. All the stuff Don West's done. I mean, I'm always happy whenever Don comes into town. Fortunately, he pops back maybe once a year or so, and we go and film and edit over the weekend. He did that for London one, and I can't remember the other one he did. Did another one recently, or within the last 2 years. So that's always a good weekend.
That was Don West, wasn't it?
Perspective, that's it. Yeah. Perspective and for London. Those are the last two ones he's done in London. And
more of a narrated one, that wasn't it, by Leon, where it was just
right, yeah. It was we definitely had to force it a bit that weekend. So it's I don't know if you noticed, but it was wet for most of the time we were filming that.
Yeah, everyone had the coats on,
Exactly, it was a pretty shitty time of the year. He chose to come in March that time, and the weather was just typical rainy weekend. So I remember me and Bauer took down a load of old T-shirts to Westminster Rail, and we literally was on the floor, just scrubbing the floor. Thinking there's probably not another videographer in the world that'd be scrubbing the floor of a handrail, so desperate to skate it for. You know what I'm saying? Most times be we'll reschedule. Don't worry about it.
That is the one that you do the true porn in the wet.
That's right. Yeah. I remember I dried the rail as best I could, and the floor wasn't ideal. But that trick.
Yeah, I don't know what would possess you or go through my mind to be I'm going to true porn on this handrail in the rain.
Slippiest floor landing
ever. I would say true porn's almost kind of a safety trick for me. I don't know why it's a safe one. I kind of when your body's kind of closed up on a trick. So, for example, I find like a sweat stance is fucking terrifying for me. Same as a coin grind. Well, coin grind's not really scary, but I find it more difficult than an alley top pawn. Because, for example, when you're doing alley top pawn, your body's you're all closed up and tightened up on it. So when something goes wrong, I'm kind of already in a ball and I can just catch whatever I need to do to save myself.
Throw yourself around.
When you miss a sweat stance and you're already in it like that, you just go, you're fucked. You're going down hard, and there's no two ways about it. Same with like alley Mizzous. If your foot goes over what you're trying to do, you're probably going to split it. Whereas if I do a porn star, my foot goes over, I'm probably just going to end up doing a weird backslide down it and catch myself on the rail. You know what I'm saying? So same with true pawns. I know it's a more blind example of that, but I always find it safer than a true Mizzou. I don't know. I've just done quite a few of them now, so they kind of make sense.
I don't think I'll ever say that.
Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to grab another drink, guys. We're right back.
Nice.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, also, it's kind of a more preferred trick to do just because, they tend to just look better than, well, other than sweat stances. But it's very easy to do a trick. You know the term open book?
No.
No? All right. So when someone does a true Mizzou, but their shoulders are open like that, and you look like an open book.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
You're less likely to look like an open book than a porn star. So,
fair enough.
One reason I like it. I'm sure you've seen someone do a true Mizzou, and they're basically fucking looking the other way. And
that's exactly how I do it.
Turn your shoulders.
No, I'm all about the open book.
A bit of a stick up in like certain tricks. I like
I'm still going.
Yeah, Brady loves a sweaty and a true Mizzou. So
yeah.
He's full open book, mate.
Yeah, that's it. That's my go-to.
It sounds really like probably a bit of a cop-out way of saying it, like, but being 6'3", doing sweat stances aren't really ideal. I can do them, but
mate, I'm like 5'4". It's not much easier doing them at my height.
Slipping out on a sweat stance is not the nicest.
Nah. But this is the thing. Even the people. This is another reason why I don't like them. Even the people that are good at them still get bit so fucking hard. So like Dustin Webeski, of course.
Yeah.
Right. So I remember Dustin sweating some kink rail in Barca. And Dustin's one of the best guys I've ever met at sweat stances in my entire life, and probably will remain one of the best guys at sweaties in the world, period. He's so good at them. And he did a sweaty, his foot went on top, and the classic thing, his foot went that way and he fell backwards off a kink rail from the middle, flat onto his back. And he was fucked. Like, couldn't skate for at least 6 weeks or 2 months afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, even the best in the world still get bit by him. Like, I bet even Eric Bailey probably still gets
he's good at sweaties. He's got sweaties on lock.
You must have seen there's that bail in is it Accidental Machines where Feinberg tries to sweaty that high ledge and does the same thing, just fucking gets flipped over that way.
It's one of them tricks where you just mix it top or bottom, it fucks you up.
Yeah, I think to be fair, I think the worst fall and bail I've seen is, I don't know who it is. I think he does a fish down a yellow rail, goes the gap to the next one. It's missing the middle section of the kink.
Okay.
And he slips out as he goes to the next one and smashes the bottom of his throat on the
Broad.
handrail.
Gumby, it's Michael Broad.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, 2 yellow rails.
He could have died.
It's horrendous. Have you not seen it?
No, you have to show us.
Yeah, what's it called? Michael Broad.
His name's Michael Broad. Yeah, he's from Atlanta. He had tell you what, he had a really good section in an old Atlanta video called Assassins. So watch that later if you get a chance. It's a good video.
Yeah, I'm just saying now if I can
got
see
a great
this.
section too. Like Walt Austin's got an amazing section. Really good video. Definitely worth watching.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
we'll catch up.
Yeah, we're gonna have to try and figure this out how to find it, but it's horrendous, mate.
Yeah.
Like I've not seen anything worse.
I mean, you've obviously taken some slams yourself, over the years. Is there any that kind of sort of sit with you that you think I should have probably not been skating again after that, or is any of the ones where you've just kind of took a step back and thought I probably shouldn't have fucking bothered?
I had that bail in Russia. That was bad, but I think I kind of put that one more down to a freak accident. That one wasn't actually it was just poor judgment. I kind of went a bit quickly at the trick. I didn't really think about it quite so well. There's one that I really put down to poor judgment, actually, and it was in London in 2012 or 11. I just got sponsored by Rollerblade, and I was out shooting my intro, my welcome to Rollerblade edit or whatever for them. And I tried rolling down this rolling. If you Google it, type in like Sandcross Rollerblade UK or something like that, Rollerblade UK 2012 or something like that. And I tried rolling down this ledge, just literally just going to roll down the ledge. And the ledge is angled like, it's not quite flat on top, it's angled like that. And I went to roll a bit of the ledge and then 180 off. And as I went to 180 off, my foot just fucking slipped out. I caught my foot on that, you know, those RBs, those, it's basically like a wide body, it had it like a Solomon wide body. Caught my sole plate on that and just slipped over, went straight off the drop side of the ledge, fell about, no, it's not mega high, it's like at least 8 or 9 foot though. Landed straight on both my wrists and on my face. And I cracked open the side of my head there to get like that glued back together. But I broke both my wrists at the same time. Now, I don't know if you've ever had a cast on. One cast is kind of annoying. 2 casts is extremely annoying. Especially if you're single and live alone. I basically, I mean, I'm not even talking about that. Just washing's fucking hard enough, mate. Just get in the shower, like, carry a bag here, carry a bag there.
You're trying to wash with 2 carrier bags, like.
Am I done?
Yeah. No, I fully understand how you feel. Like, I
don't talk about wiping your ass, man. Jesus Christ, it's a fucking nightmare, and it goes on for 6 to 8 weeks, and doesn't end.
You say that I broke my wrist. I've broken my right wrist quite a few times, but the last time I did it, I was just like, I can't handle this. 2 days in, I went round Park skate park. Obviously, you know how dusty that place is. Left, and it was filthy, man. And I just literally on the way home, just like got a pair of pliers and just picked it until it come off. And it was just like, right, I'm keeping it off with broken wrist for like 6 weeks and just took it dead easy with my wrist. I
don't mind one cast. I can live with one cast. I've broken my right wrist at least like, you know, maybe 4 or 5 times now. Left one done twice. It's just 2 at the same time. Like, one by itself is like, it's annoying, but you know, at least you've got the other hand to wash with and take care of yourself, whatever.
You didn't do the action of washing then when you said at least you got the other hand.
No, wait, when you do, like,
you did was,
I'm not washing that. I'm not doing that. That's how I feel though.
Yeah, it's not good. I think we were literally talking about a section that it wasn't, I think it was the VOD where you travel out to Barca and meet Nick. I think you do, just so you know which section I'm on about, you do a top sole to true porn down the rail. I thought...
Do you mean the VOD we shot with Nick?
Yeah.
I shot with Nick, the Hang Losers guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, which trick, sorry?
I think it was the top sole true porn that you do down the rail.
Oh, no, you mean true porn top sole?
That's it, yeah. True porn
like
top
sole. Flat-ish handrail, yeah.
Yeah.
That was actually the first trick I got. Yeah, I remember that really clearly. I flew into Faro, it's in Portugal. In the south, was in the Algarve region of Portugal. Met Nick. Nick, the mental cunt, had just decided to try and skate from Barcelona to Faro. So he was a bit like dead because he just skated a million miles, basically. And it was really hot. And we got taken to that rail first, and it was just super high. And, you know, I just kind of like, you know, first spot, first day, you're juiced, obviously, you want to try and do something good. And yeah, I mean, that switch up again, it's like, it's 2 of my safety tricks pretty much. So as I was saying, like, I find true porn's kind of easy. Top sole is obviously a safety trick of mine. So one just kind of lends itself to the other. And yeah, when I did that trick, that was all right, actually. That wasn't too difficult. I got tangled up. One of the attempts, I got a little bit tangled on the rail. But no, I kind of got away with that one a little bit easier.
The funny thing is, Sam, I wasn't actually looking for that trick though when I was finding that video. I was trying to find it where you fell and smashed that fucking concrete ledge to pieces with your hip.
Right, yeah, that hey, that was actually save of the century. I tell you what, like that could have been so much fucking worse. Like, so again, like obviously it's like a metal flat bank, right? And I'm going onto a ledge, so it's like flat bank here and a ledge is flat this way. So I'm going to do wall ride. The plan was to do wall ride TTP, I think, or wall ride back sav was what I was originally trying to do. And you know, just stupid mistake, jumped on the side, caught my sole plate doing the wall ride. And slipping this way, but I'm going quite fast there. So I'm slipping this way, doing a cess side this way whilst traveling forwards. And I can see the corner of the thing there. And I thought I was going to crash into my knee on the thing. So I don't know if you can see it because it all happens very fast, but I managed to get my foot up in time. And it's actually my sole plate that kicks the end of the ledge. And then it ricochets off and hits my hip. And there's also a weird bit in it. You can see that as the bit of the tile flings out like this, my hand, I didn't do it on purpose. I haven't got reflex like this, but I accidentally slap it out of the way of my face. It's going right for my face. If you watch that clip again, you see it in slow-mo.
It is on that VOD, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's in the intro. It's also in the trailer and stuff. Yeah, like, you can't imagine that. Like, obviously, when that happened, it was fucking terrible. Like, it was like I was laying on the floor for like an hour or so, just in pain, just not wanting to do anything. As soon as I kind of got over the initial like impact of like how bad this is, Nick and I turned to each other like, defo sticking that in the trailer. That's gonna get
great clip. All Bales, great clip.
Yeah, that's
it was like,
you actually get a good bail. Yeah, when you get a good bail, you're like, yeah, I'll put that up. I'll put that up. It's
Worth it.
So
anything like that. I mean, we even had people commenting saying they thought we'd faked it. They thought we'd set like, you know, like a banger in the fucking thing. So it was like a little bit of compound to explode the ledge.
It is gnarly, man.
Genuinely thinking we faked it. It was like, it was just an old ledge, and it just like most of the impact was on the bottom of my sole plate, and of course I did crash into my hip too. But my foot basically saved my hip. I reckon if it had gone straight into it, I could have done something actually quite bad. Instead, I basically just had the dead leg of a lifetime. But I managed to start skating again later that day. Like I remember laying it. I was super winded and like kind of couldn't breathe, and like my hip was all like twisted up, and I felt like I'd done something maybe to the ligament or something. But I wasn't too sure, to be honest. I then just kind of like laid in the sun for like 2 hours whilst Nick was getting a clip at another spot. Then started skating a small ledge later that day, and I found once I got warm again, I could skate. It wasn't just like, it was kind of, you know, when you get cold with an injury and something feels like, it feels tense.
Stiffen up.
I found once I warmed back up, that I was able to start skating again. I actually managed to get a couple more clips over the next couple of days. Fortunately, this was much later in the trip. This was one of the last 2 days. We were in Tarragona, which is it's near Barcelona. So this was like, we shot in Portugal for like a week or 10 days, and then we went to Barca for another week. And this was like one of maybe like the fifth day in Barcelona. So we were kind of like, it was bad, but it wasn't like the end of the world because we'd already done most of the filming. It wasn't like, you know, day one filming and edit and take an injury. Like that's shit. When you go on a trip and get injured like right at the start, then
yeah, it's just completely right off. Then
there's the rail in it as well.
What was the point? I'm Macy.
The white rail, the one where the guy like comes out and he's like looking at it to be like, what are you doing to my rail? And you do. I think it first like the second trick you try down it is a fish brain, and you stick a little bit.
Yeah. So that was outside a seafood restaurant. Some bloke, he's in a DC t-shirt as well, so it looks super ridiculous. I remember he came out and like, so I went over there, I top sold it like straight away and was like, all right, cool. Because basically for me, if I can do a top sole, I can fish brain it as well. So, you know, it's just one trick naturally leads to the next one. So I went up there, did a quick top sole, was like, all right, cool. Definitely ready for the fish brain. This guy's coming out now and he's like getting in my way. And I'm just like, right, all I've got to do is like lure this man backwards. Just
it looks like you're kind of like just trying to talk him over and then just go around him.
Conversation over here, like walk over this way. As soon as you get him out of your way, just, you know, it's a drop rail. You're not going to go super fast. What you're going to take is like one or two quick strides and just jump on it. And yeah, so split it. Like, classic, like way too much confidence, assuming I'm going to lock this fish brain first go. Split it. It's now like, you know, 20 odd set fucking drop rail. Now like leaning forwards, down it, sliding this way. I hit my nuts, hit my chest, like fucking really in a lot of pain at this point. But you know when it's like your adrenaline kind of like kicks up a little bit and you realise you've got basically like 30 seconds or a minute bbefore pain really kicks in. And unfortunately I managed to run back up there and give it another go quickly whilst he was, because he was at the top of the stairs when I ran back up there. And then he like probably, I can't remember what he mumbled, maybe I'm going to call the police or whatever. He went back inside to deal with whatever. And managed to get it landed then. And unfortunately just left.
Just took off, yeah. Is there any particular edit or VOD, any piece that you've done that you're particularly proud of? Is there one that you'd turn around and say, you know, if you were going to show someone, you know, just one edit, what would it be? Or is it just a collection and you're just progressively getting better? Or
I like all different ones, to be honest. I mean, I like, you know, I was happy with, obviously that. I was happy with Broke. I was happy with, because I mean, that was filmed in a short space of time. I thought it was pretty ambitious. Nick was just like, just come out, we're going to film for 2 weeks straight. And we did. I mean, we filmed literally every day for 2 weeks. and managing to get like a few clips each, like 5-6 clips each every day, which is not like a big amount of clips, but just the consistency over several days, you start to really feel it in your bones and that.
One day for me. One day. Broken.
My USD Pro intro, there's a couple of good tricks on that I like. I mean, it's mostly just individual tricks that I can think of rather than like effective whole edits. Like, for example, at the end of my Pro intro that I shot in 2018, I jump off this wall into like a roll-in.
Yeah.
That is round the corner from a warehouse I used to live in Hackney Wick. And I just looked at it for years. And like me and my mate Dylan Higgins, this Irish skater that used to live with me in this warehouse, him and I were always talking like, yeah, someone's got to do that one of these days. Someone's got to do that. And it's just one of those things you never really found an opportunity to do it because it is just like, not blowing too much smoke up my arse, but it's fucking terrifying, this thing. It's like, it's hard to tell, like, do you not find when you watch videos, it's hard to tell how steep a transition really is?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Freaking fucked up and like, I don't know, the weirdest thing, it's like, so basically you got to climb up there. So it's like that sort of steep. You got to climb up there, get on a wall, and climb on top of the next bit of the wall. And when I'm standing on top of the next bit of the wall, you're actually right next to a motorway, next to the A12. And I'm just like, looking there and up. And I'm at the eye height of a main London fucking A road. And there's cars just fucking whizzing past you up there. And you're just like, and then you look down, you're like, oh, bollocks, got to jump off this thing now. And that's the worst thing as well. You're just like, you get on top of you decide you're going to do a gap or a stunt or whatever. You get up there. It's easy to, go to a spot in your shoes and stand it and say to them, like, yeah, I'm going to do this one day. And you just, talk's cheap.
Yeah.
When you actually get up there with your skates on, it's like, oh, bollocks, I've actually got to do this now.
Yeah, big boy pants to go on.
Climbing down this wall. So, that was a scary one. That was a trick I'm particularly happy with. Other than that, I mean, the trick I did at St. Paul's for my pro boot.
Yeah, I think most people remember that one.
That's another trick I've been talking about doing. I actually did that. I mean, I talked about that on the last podcast that I did with the Jump Street guys.
Yeah.
I actually did that a few years ago and then had to decide to go back and do it again. But yeah, I've been wanting to do that one properly for quite a few years and was happy when I finally did it.
Wait, going back onto the falls, Sam. There was that point where everyone was quite worried about you when you were in Russia, wasn't it? Where you did take a bit of a bad fall. Yeah.
So I hit my head very badly, and the footage is pretty terrible. The Russians actually sent me the footage. I've got it on my computer. I don't know if I'll ever do anything with the footage because it is quite. It's just a bad bail. It's just nothing. It's not a nice bad bail. When like you see a bail, and it's just kind of gnarly, but you think, oh, he's fine. He walked away from that one. Yeah. I'm just on the floor. I'm just there. It's like, oh shit. Hopefully he wakes up in a minute because otherwise it's not going to be very good. But yeah, I basically that was another trick. That's like I don't really put that down to. I kind of put that down to like being a freak accident as such. It wasn't like it's never really disheartened me from skating that bail. This might have been probably. I mean, most likely it's probably the worst bail I've ever had in my life, like severity-wise. But it's never really disheartened me from skating because it was just one of those ones that like I was trying to launch over this ledge to try and back the top of this like slide thing. It was like not slide, sorry, a set of swings. And I just kind of stalled the end of it rather than slide it and just kind of rolled over and just landed. Fell maybe like, again, like 8 or 9 foot, something like that. Just straight into the back of my head. Like I literally flip. I just go like, I'm almost upside down in the air and just land straight on my head. Then just flat on my back on the floor and just out cold. Eugen's there standing next to me because there's basically a glass window there. And I asked Eugen to spot me in case I crash into the glass window. So Eugen's standing there in front of me when I splat on the floor and you see him just like fucking pull his hair out and freak out. Like you can tell he's worried because he doesn't even react. He just fucking goes, he's just all over the fucking place.
Yeah, just like shock.
And yeah, that was bad because, I got taken to some like Russian sort of not quite intensive care, but I was in some fucking hospital unit in Russia with all these other fucking like head trauma patients. And as a result, I've lost my sense of smell and that still hasn't come back. And yeah, I mean, it was bad. No, I mean, the worst thing was just like, the footage was actually out there on the internet for a minute. One of the Russian guys shared just a mobile phone clip from that day.
Okay.
And I got a text from Lomax saying like, shit, man, I've seen your bail. It's mental. Like, it's really bad. The footage actually got taken down, but then I obviously freaked out that like, members of my family that I've got on Facebook would have seen that.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, obviously trying to comfort my family back home by I made some like fake Facebook status saying like, yeah, I'm in hospital. I'll be out tomorrow. Lying. Like the doctors told me that I was going to be there for weeks. They said like, you're going nowhere anytime soon.
It's madness.
Yeah, so that was kind of obviously bad because, you know, now I'm not, it's not just, I know I'm in a bad situation. However, I've now lied to my family because I just wanted to comfort them, basically. I didn't want them to.
It makes complete sense.
You know, my dad's like, he's a machine driver from the south coast of England. What's he going to do? Like, you can't, if you wanted to get to Russia that fast, you can't. You got to get visas and shit. It's not like popping to France. Like, the visa application process for Russia's insane. Like, they want to know, like, your last 10 years of travel history, your last 3 generations of family's occupation, all this shit. Because it's like, you know, they're really, like, they've got, like, they hold the borders up. So,
yeah. I didn't realise that. I'd never searched for the footage. I'd obviously heard the story from the Jump Street podcast, but I didn't realise the footage. I assumed it was just out there.
The mobile phone clip going around for like 2 days after it happened. But no, the actual footage, I got Boris and Victor sent it to me. They were like, I don't know what you want us to do with this, but it's yours. You have it. And I'm kind of just sat on my computer, and I just don't really know what to do with it because it's just.
It reminds me.
I don't know if I really want it out there.
No, I mean, I used to skate with a lot of skateboarders growing up when a lot of the bladers kind of stepped away from it, you know, drink and drugs and whatever. And I remember seeing it, that there was a skateboard video, Flip Sorry, and there was a bail in that, which is kind of like that. And it's so gnarly. But what they do is they show the start of the clip and then it's illustrations, like a cartoon version of the fall because it's so bad. And then it shows the end of the clip just kind of on the floor. It's a little idea if you want to put it out there.
I think you just put out the clip.
Just do an animation. Well, you could put out the clip, or you could just do an animation.
I do really like Flip Sorry, actually. It's one of my favourite skateboard videos. Yeah. And it was a cool bit because obviously he falls asleep in the hospital, right? And then he dreams Tom Penny's section.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could do something cool like that. We could film a USD video and then I dream fucking Carlos Banal's section or something, but the idea's already been done. We're just scraping a skateboard video. So
influenced.
Nah, it's just great, mate.
Fair play. Well, we've called it now. We've called it online, so we fucked it. Yeah. We should have talked about this one offline.
No, I mean, it's the famous skateboard video in history, like, or one of people aren't idiots. They're going to put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, fair play. Well, I mean, you know, it's been great talking to you, Sam. I don't know if there's anything else you want to touch on or any messages you want to put out there. But I mean, for me, eye opener for certain parts of that.
Yeah, cheers for watching, guys. It's been fun.
Yeah. Well, I've got to say, Sam, is get in touch with Powerslide and get that
mustard boot.
Yeah, that mustard boot out.
That fucking mustard boot out
there. Yeah, man. It's lovely. It is lovely. If it's exactly like the same colour as the Thrones used to be, do it, man.
I mean, maybe somewhere down the line might be it's an idea to think about. It's there. Maybe if I look at it long enough, I might want it, but it's taken me a year to work around to even thinking about possibly wanting it. So,
fair enough.
Give it another couple, maybe. We'll see.
Thanks for coming on, Sam.
No worries, lads. Good chatting to you. I'll see you again soon.
Take it easy.
Take care, man.
See you later, man.